Hey everyone, Randy here for Go Midwest Fishing, and I am in my camper I just recently bought. It's a 19-foot Salem Cruise Lite, and I'm currently doing some modifications on it. And I found out the light not only means lightweight, but it is very light on features. And one feature I need to have is 12-volt outlets. Since I mostly camp at non-electric sites, this camper has only 120-volt outlets in it if you're plugged into a power source. Well, since I mostly camp at non-electric sites, I need to have some 12-volt power supplies, some USB ports, and some 12-volt outlets to charge up all our phones and run our computers and whatever, because I'm usually filming something when I'm out camping. So today we're going to add some USB ports. I got, let me show you what I have here. So I'm mainly putting them over the bed. So here's the main bed. It's like a full-size bed. And right up there in that corner, I got this 4-outlet USB charger. It's going to go up there. And then I got 2 of these that go right in the wall. And these, we got our bunk beds here. I got it partly torn apart, but I'm going to put these, install those inside the walls there. And then I got these nice little caddies here that we're going to put there to hold all our phones and everything right next to our USB outlet so they can charge while we sleep. Now, one of the other features it was light on is it only had an electric fridge, so I just installed a new propane fridge here, a 2-way fridge, so it runs on propane and electric. And while I did that, I ran some wires through and I installed a 12-volt plug over here. So right here, I already did this one. So I got one 12-volt power supply, which I use this thing. This thing is awesome. I'll see if I can find it and list it below, but you got 3 12-volt ports and 4 USB ports. It tells you your voltage right there. So just by plugging this one in, I have all kinds of outlets. And then I have a 200-watt inverter. So if I need to plug in a computer or something, it needs 120. Let's plug that into there. Let's see if we can see in here. There you go. So that's what I did already. I put a USB port in there because I'm running some fans to cool the fridge down. A little switch for those fans. And then I just ran the wires straight through. They go back under there where the furnace is, and I spliced into some wires down there. So first, let's work on the ones over the bunk beds here. So I got the bottom mattress off so we can see all the wires and everything right down here. So let's take a closer look at that. So go into our power inverter. And so if we see how this thing works. So you got your circuit breakers for your AC, and then you got your fuses for your DC here. And what we're interested in is the DC 12-volt circuits. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 15-amp circuits and one 30-amp circuit. I'm guessing there ain't a whole lot of stuff to run in here, so I'm guessing this goes to the water pump. And then the rest we got like the furnace, hot water heater, the lights. And I'm not really sure what else. They must have divided up the lights here because there's not that much stuff in here to power. Now, if we look on the back side of this, all these wires coming out here, these are the DC 12-volt wires. These here are the 120 AC volt wires. And you can see they all kind of head back here. There. So these smaller ones here are the ones I'm interested in. We'll leave these other 120-volt ones alone. But you can see they go right up into the wall. So all I have to do is cut a hole right about in here and splice into one of those 12-volt lines. Now each one is color coded, nothing's labeled or anything, but I can see coming out of here, the one that's an orange one I think is going to the water pump. I don't want to splice into that one because every time you turn your water pump, your voltage is going to drop. And then the other hydro item is probably your furnace, so I was looking at the color of that one. And so we'll leave that one alone. I think I already spliced into that one for the outlet I put over there. So we'll go to the other ones that probably just run the lights or something that ain't using a whole lot of power yet. Now this thing here is a neat little tool. It's an endoscope. A little camera on the end. I can go up in there and just kind of look around to see what's actually behind the wall before I start drilling any holes and see kind of where these wires run and stuff. So there's some showing some insulation in the walls here, but I can see the wires there going up, and looks like I got a clear path about here. I think there might be a board going across there, I'm not sure, so I may end up having to drill a hole up through that little board. Once I drill a hole here for the one outlet, I'll be able to go up into that hole and kind of look a little better. Taking a closer look at our USB outlet here, if you look like that, you can see it sticks up a little bit out of this plate. So you need a hole big enough to fit that whole round piece right here, which I don't know, I think that's kind of stupid to shove just a hole big enough for the wires, but I gotta drill an 1.5 inch hole in the wall just to fit this piece right there. So you gotta do what you gotta do, I guess. And the reason I went with this outlet is because it does charge 2.1 amps off of both ports. This one is actually from E-Trailer, and it had a lot of good reviews and stuff. They sell a lot of these like on Amazon for a lot cheaper. This was like 35 bucks. You can get them off Amazon for whatever, $10. But they all say none of them work, and most of those only put out like 1 amp instead of 2.1 amps or 2.4 amps or whatever. So watch the amp ratings on these, because the cheaper ones always put out less amps and will charge your stuff a lot slower. Alright, there's their hole. Just gotta be careful I didn't drill real deep so I didn't hit any wires. There's the wires right over there. Good. Let's get a fish line and go down and try to come out that hole so I can pull some wires up through there. Alright, I got my fishing wire. Put her in there and wrap her down till we get to come out the bottom. Now we got our fish wire through. I ended up going through the bottom and coming up. It was easier to grab it. Tape on my 2 wires. I'm gonna pull it on through. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a splice here. We're gonna put in 1 outlet and then splice in some more wires and go straight up. I just used the endoscope and it looks like there is a hole straight up. There's not a piece of wood there blocking it. So now let's drill a hole on this side and fish a wire down to splice into those other 2. There's our wires right there. They didn't cut through too far. Looks like they're fine. So we know they go all the way down, then there's nothing blocking it. Actually went smoother than I was expecting, so that was nice. Got one down there too, so I'll just clip these off here. Splice all these into the bottom one. Wire up the top one. Then I'll shut off all the power and splice it into the line down there. Pretty simple. You got black to black and red to red. That's all there is to it. There you go, just wiring them together. And I'm going to take some black tape. Make sure they're nice and secure and don't fall off. Alright, the way this is designed is it just pops off like that. This clips on after you screw it to the wall. So let's do that now. Pop the cover on. There, one's done. For the bottom one, we got 3 wires spliced together, so use a little bit bigger wire nut. Same deal, just push it all back in there. Oh, I gotta tape it up first. Alright, that one's all installed. Now to decide which one of the wires down here we want to use. Okay, it looks like the red is down over there at the water pump. The yellow is going to the furnace. This gray here, I'll show you where that is. So we're going to put the other USB outlet there. We're going to hook into this light under here. So I just pulled this down, and see this has the gray wire going to it. So we won't use the gray wire so it's not all on one fuse. So that leaves us with, we got a purple and an orange. Actually, that might be an orange over there. It's hard to tell the color. So I know I haven't seen the purple going anywhere yet. So I think we'll use this purple one right here. So to splice into that live line, I am going to shut off all the power of the camper, and it's going to get dark in here, so I won't film it, but I'll splice together and then show you what I did. I am back, and here's what I got. Just splice the 2 wires into there. Put that down there. Now I need to test out to see if it actually charges, so I got our endoscope here. You can see the battery is almost dead. The USB cord plugged into it. let's just plug it in there, see if it charges. There we go. And look at that. We got a charge symbol right there. It's a working. Let's check the top one. There. And it shows it's charging. Alright, sweet. We got 2 of them down. Now to go do the one over there. Alright, this next one's going to be a little different. It's going to look like this. It has 4 charge ports on it. And according to this top charge port's like a quick charge port. It puts out, at 5 volts is what your normal USB is. It puts out 3 amps. At 9 volts, it puts out 2 amps. And at 12 volts, 1.5 amps. And the rest of these 3 put out 5 volts at 2.4 amps. So you can have 2.4 amps off of each one of these charge ports at once. Again, I had to do some searching because you'll find a lot of these, they'll be like, you know, max output is so many watts, and you got to divide that watts by how many ports, and you end up, if you figure it out, if you plug them all in, you can be putting out less than 1 amp per port. So I got this one because it shows each port will put out 2.4 amps if plugged into it. So that's a big plus here. It's a little bigger, so I'm going to cut out a hole that size. I'll show you where I'm doing it. So I'm going to cut it in this little thin piece right here. And our bed's right here. I'll put a little shelf up here, something to put all our charging devices on. But what I'm going to do, like I said before, I'm going to just splice into this light, go straight up through the cabinet. So what I'll end up doing is drilling a hole in right in here and then running a wire, you see right along the edge here, all the way to this corner back there, and then just splicing that on to the outlet. Should be a fairly simple operation. First thing I'll do is I'll use this as a template. I'll put it up there, I'll draw that out, and then cut out this square. The old Dremel Multimax will be a perfect job for this tool. Let's cut it out. Now I'm going to drill a hole from the inside of the cabinet just big enough to put 2 wires through it. Right about in here. There, I got the 2 wires pulled down. Now you can take a look what I did here. There you go, I just drilled that hole right there. Fished 2 wires through there. Now I'm going to attach these 2 wires to the inside edge. Bring it all the way to that side there. I got some of this conduit. I'll put this in, and that'll secure it nicely against the inside rim. Yeah, it's all spliced in. To make this neater, I just did the straight splices on here. Tape those up, put them inside that conduit. Keep it a little nicer in the back here. Now we just got to screw it in there. Just like that. Alright, looks good on the outside. Take a look on the inside. Got it all conduited along here. And it goes down into the cabinet. Now just to splice these together, and while I'm at it, I got one more light to replace, so I'm going to cut this light out and put an LED light in here. Here's the LED light I'm going to replace it with. So simple again, splice these wires into those along with those. I'll secure it all up there, and then we'll test it out. There we go, it's all assembled. Let's test it out. Light works. Let's plug our endoscope in here. Which goes the wrong way every time. And I see a charge symbol. There we go. It's a working. Alright, one last thing to do here is put up our little dealies here to hold all our charging devices next to our outlets. Now these they do have 2 screw holes. You can screw it up, or you can use this 3M tape. I think I'm going to tape it, and then I'm just going to also use screws. Why not? Make it extra secure. So with just screws, it'll probably, flop a little bit. This will hold it down nice and tight. Alright, that was the last of the big projects I had to do. Now to clean up this mess and get it ready for camping next week. And if you want to see the other videos I did on this camper, replacing the fridge, and I put a new toilet in, fixed the vent, put new LED lights in, all kinds of stuff. So check those videos out. They'll pop up right up here. And everyone, we'll see you soon. Thanks for watching.